Hi everybody, I'm back. Another me, another day, another video of me. I was sick on Friday. It was disgusting, but I'm back. I have more energy, a bit tired, but I'm fine. So if you see this video, well, the video is probably gonna be either uploaded on Monday, so you're gonna see it the same day, or it's gonna be literally Christmas on Christmas Eve. So we're gonna talk today about Lily Phillips. It's a girl. I think a lot of people being online kind of know the story. It's literally a girl that decided to kind of get to the point of having fun, enjoying herself with 100 men, right? And she's an OnlyFans girl, so it was a point for her to kind of make it successful, draw the attention, and really get into the challenge of doing it first and then getting to sleep with 1,000 men on February 2025, if I remember. Okay, wow. I didn't want to talk too much about it because there's a lot of things that's been said from what I was able to watch online. So I felt like I didn't have much to share. Then I had the church, the mass on Sunday, and then I got inspired. And then today I watched a documentary where she was actually talking about her sleeping with 100 men, right? And she was feeling excited at the beginning of the documentary. You can see her sharing the story about it, why she wanted to do it, and why. And interestingly enough, she called herself being a feminist to the point of again comparing herself to what men can do, and her doing that as well comes down to her being the same and being equal to men out there. Okay, well, it's sad. I'm just gonna say that the way it is. It is sad. It is sad because I feel like the media, the social media attention, and how much we get addicted to just wanting to be here online and doing the most shocking thing kind of reveals, it brings a lot of sadness and brokenness. I talked about the brokenness, right? And I feel like I share a lot about brokenness, but I watched her in the documentary. I really feel like she was empty. And not necessarily in the bad way, in the way that she just didn't know herself, in the way that she was so sure of what she was doing. And when she actually did it afterwards, she felt definitely a lot more sad, right? Like this, the mentally part where you just kind of understanding what you actually did and how much it just didn't feel that good. But something that was just getting that struck me a lot when she was talking was more for her to say that the thing that she really thinks the most about is pleasing the guys, right? Just to be sure that they're good, they're okay. She doesn't want them to feel, or she didn't want them to feel like disgusted or anything like that. And then you get after what she did, sleeping with 100 men through the documentary, and then you see the room, you see the bedroom, you see everything on the floor. It was something that I would call being a horror movie, and it's not even me being dramatic about it. It was just too much to handle. Just to think about it is already too much to handle. Then you have to go physically through it, it's something else. And for me, when you get to that point, it's not necessarily just draw the attention. It's really the fact that you are rejecting yourself. You getting to a point where you feel like nobody would want to hold you. So whatever you need to give, whatever you need to sell out there, is you being able to just please and being a people pleaser. It's just that person of being a people pleaser, but to another level, right? We as women, there's that thing where we are much more agreeable in general, right? That's the feminine part in us that loves building bridges. That's why you're gonna be able as a woman to be able to have more social situations, right? You can have a lot of friends, you enjoying being in social circles. Even as the introverted that I am, I could enjoy it, right? I could be a part of it. I love being able to just create those atmosphere, create those ambiances, just cooking for people, right? Over the weekend, there was a party, a dinner party at one of my friends, and I was asked to bake. I love baking. I enjoy baking. I enjoy baking because it relaxes me. But when I get to have people over and just taste it and eat it or just bring it somewhere else, like at a party, I love it. I love those social gatherings in a way where you kind of build the bridges, right? You are just creating the circles. This is the reason why women, we're good at it, right? So there's a lot of kind of people pleasing energy here, right? A vibe into us, into doing that. But I feel like for Lily Phillips, it just got to a level where it was more so having that compassion, but not even a compassion because it was just being too nice, right? To the point of just pleasing, to the point of just not trying to see deep inside what you really want out of those things. Because she was talking about making money, then she was talking about just it in the fact that it was not about making money only, it was about just making a point, right? Making it as a challenge and being the first person to do it. Why? That's a question that she couldn't necessarily answer. It was just about the success, about drawing the attention, about making it shocking, but at the same time making it so pleasing for the guys that she really felt that if she was being rejected because maybe the guy would find it disgusting, that would put her down even more. And being online, it's a lot about playing nice, right? To get the audience that you want, or at least in the past, when you wanted to get an audience, even today, actually, no, even today, when you wanted to have that audience, build that audience, you were going to go to the shocking part, and that actually works, and that's still working, and that worked in the past, right? You were trying to build an audience based on the shocking part of it. It is working, it is still working, but we're seeing that changing into the fact that with the podcast now, the podcast format brings a lot more authenticity because we get to know the person. You're getting rid of all of the graphics, all of the good, great music, and then you see the person as she is, the way she is. And you either don't like it or you like it, or you're just in the middle. It's fine, right? And that comes to a point where with the social media that we have now, this is the theme of the authenticity, there's the theme of just the shocking part, and she is playing in that theme so much so that she is just getting rid of herself the more she's doing it, because it comes to a point that you can define whatever you're doing. It's about making money, it's about making a point, it's about being feminist, it's about nothing that actually is essential, right? As a person, not necessarily even as a woman, as a person. And I was thinking about it in the way because today I was actually watching another video, and it was a priest, an exorcist, that was talking about the fruits of the Holy Spirit, right? Where when we think about the character of saints in general, we are not necessarily gonna base ourselves on the character of the person to kind of know if they're gonna be sent or not. You can have a bad attitude. You can have that angry bitterness attitude about people, just not wanting to talk about people, right? But if your intention is set to the right place, which is always going back to God, whatever you do, that's your intention, even in your messes, your imperfections, right? You getting aligned with the Christian way of just being a Christian and really being able to be that person aligned in relationship with God. Now, when you want to play nice into the people pleasing scenario, you're getting into the horizontal line, right? You're getting to be socially nice with people, right? But you're not getting to the intention of just loving God and building that relationship with Him. And that's where it is that misalignment that usually makes people a lot more confused because we getting hooked into anything that we see on social media that's shining, brightening like a diamond. And you do that once, you do that twice, you do that enough times, and then you still feel the need of filling up a void, right? Because what's the point of sleeping with 100 men and then after that to want to sleep with 1,000 men to make a point? Then what, right? Then what? Because it's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna be enough. You're still gonna feel the need of just filling up the void. And that's why the Christian charity, the Christian kindness, it's not about having a good character or just playing nice. It's about having the good intention of loving God and putting God into the priority of everything that you do in your life. This is the cross. The horizontal line is a charity with others, being good with others, being compassionate towards others, being kind towards others, right? And that means bringing the truth as well, right? It doesn't have to be you feeling good about something. It's about you doing the right thing, which is making a lot more sense than just being playing nice, right? And then you got the vertical lines that is oriented towards God. And that brings all the Christian niceness, I would say, or the Christian kindness, because it's always going up to God, and then the rest it goes with the others and the kindness. But playing nice is not part of the fruit of the Holy Spirit. Being kind, being compassionate, right? Being loving towards each other, that means understanding where people are coming from, listening, being there for them, asking the questions, right? But putting the line where they need to be. And that's really hard for us because when we think about social media is that place where you have to be the nicest person ever for people to be able to kind of love you, or that's whatever plays in your mind. And as women, because we have that emotional part, right, where we feel more connected when we have that emotional dynamic with our girlfriends, with our hobbies, with our boyfriends, and such, we feel alive in those situations because of our feminine nature. That plays even more when you want to be playing nice on social media. And when you don't draw lines and you're not making intention clear enough for you to go towards the God first, that's how you're getting confused. And that's how you're just getting to feel or try to feel the void all the damn time. And that goes with just having that success again and again into things that just don't make sense, right? It's the same way as somebody that wants to make more money, right? It's the point where I know because I've been there and done that, and I still have that mindset where you're getting to a point where you say you kind of set yourself in a yearly basis where you say that you want to make 100K per month per year, for example. And then when you get that to that 100K, it's getting to a point of just wanting to make, let's say, 300K per year. And then maybe at the beginning of it, it was for good intention. Let's say it was to help your family, right? You have kids, you have a husband, you have a mom, and they maybe are in difficult situations, right? You want to take care of other people, so you want to make more money for that, and it's gonna help. The more money you make, the more you're gonna be able to help people. The problem is that you're gonna start falling in love with the money itself if you don't pay attention, if you don't set the intention where they need to be, right? If you always prioritize God even into making that money, you are not losing that focus, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because making money is that thing where it feels good, right? It feels good to have more. It feels good to fill you up. It feels good to just have more and more and more all the damn time. It's never enough. So you gotta set yourself to make more money with the time passing by, and at some point you're losing the focus. So it all becomes about making money for the sake of making money. And that's how you get to be more greedy. That's how you get to be less thinking about helping people, because that was at first, right? And that gets you to kind of transform yourself into somebody that you don't want to be. So that money corrupts you, corrupts your core, even if the intention was pure at the beginning. And that's why if you're not getting to place God where He needs to be, that focus, you're losing it big, big, big time. And for Lily Phillips, there was that part where she was talking about being nice and really making sure that she wants everybody to be comfortable, to be pleasing. And she was actually running through the whole setup when guys would get in the bedroom and how nice she would be, making them feel comfortable about that, and just being there to please at the end of the day. The problem is that when you see yourself as a product, people are going to see you as a product. If you feel yourself that nobody can love you just the way you are, as in the human being that you are, and that you don't even see the love of God in you, then you start just making and setting the points where you want to give a lot to people, but you don't see yourself as equal or as good as the person that you even want to please, because you're seeing yourself as a product. And the social media doesn't help. OnlyFans doesn't help, because it's just gonna be a buildup of just you wanting to make more of that shocking point. And even in the practicality part of it, it's like you're getting from 100 men to 1,000 men. I really have to think about the logistic here. And she was sharing about a bit about it, and I kind of saw her in other videos when she was actually sharing the story, and she was talking about the logistic and the practicality of it. And all the damn time I was like, you are insane. And this is sad because everything for her was just a joke. It was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, maybe it's gonna work. It's gonna work, it's gonna work out. It was definitely a type of joke. And to the project itself, she was not necessarily saying the gravity of it up until she did it with 100 men, and then she kind of broke down. And she was trying to suggest that, yes, it's not for every woman. I would say it's not for anyone, guys and girls, women and men. It doesn't work. The more you do it, the more you're losing yourself. The same way you got people and guys being able to sleep with million girls out there, right? Where it just becomes easy to do that. They are finding it harder to find a proper woman because they've been so used to see women as products, right? As pieces of meat. I'm not watching that podcast that much, and I discovered them because I was watching other channels, Fresh and Fit, and I've never been a fan of them, like never. Ever since I watched the first episode from them, I was like, this is definitely not for me. But you get onto the podcast, you see all of the women out there, and then you see them being bimbos because they're all bimbos, all of them. You see them being literal on the videos, and you kind of question what you're doing there. And you see clearly, or at least you feel the product, because they're being marketed as woman bimbos, pretty much. You see that. You see that. It's easy. You see that. So when it comes down to you being a woman, when it comes down to you having the right intention, you can have a nasty character and just, or having a perfect character in that sense of being nice, but it's never gonna be enough for you to be truly feeling enough. Honestly, that's an endless pursuit of just something that you're not even clear about what it is for you. And I have a lot of, I would say that from what I see, let's say the DEI politics, let's say the tolerance policy, let's talk about the inclusivity policy. It's all about playing nice. But deep down, when somebody doesn't like you, it's not gonna like you. When somebody is not feeling good, it's not gonna feel good, no matter how covers you want to put on it. And you could see that through her with little Phillips. It was clear, girl was broken. And when you see all the team around her kind of sharing that she was good, everything went all right, she did good, she did well, like it's a circus show. It's a pure circus show, right? It's a pure circus show. And again, I'm going back to that playing nice, being nice, people pleaser. That's the thing where you're going so much further. Because by playing nice, you're saying yes to everything. And when we get down to Mary, right, the Virgin Mary, it's almost the opposite in a sense that what you see and know from Mary was that she was obedient to God. She said yes to God. She didn't question the authority of God, right? She kept that grace, right? That innocence. And maybe there was something other than that. But she just said yes, and she was being obedient throughout all the way. She knew what was going to happen up until the end. She knew her own son was going to die for all of us sins. She knew that. She was aware of that. She said yes. It still literally hurt her so bad to see her son on the cross, being at the foot of the cross. And this Sunday, during the homily, there was that because the priest was talking about the Annunciation and about Mary receiving Jesus and getting all of those news and getting so excited that rather than just sitting down and just being there and just being happy for herself, she went straight to Elizabeth, her cousin, to kind of to help her, to save her, to be useful, right? Sorry, to be useful. And that's where I was. There was that striking image that I got at the end of Mass, where I had that sentence: For God loved so much the world that he offered his only Son for our sins. For Jesus loving us so much, dying on the cross for us, at the end of it, he decided to give his mom at us, like all of us, right? The mom he loved dearly, deeply, right? He gave that mom to us. He gave us his mom. And what kind of perfect mom you wouldn't be proud of? Like Mary, perfect woman, perfect mom. And you see all of that, you see the service, you see the charity, you see the love, even in the middle of the suffering. And when you compare it to whatever we see online, like somebody like Lady Phillips, you see all the playing nice, all the people being nice around her, nobody trying to say anything. Because when you try to do that, you get backlashes. And even around, like, it hurts him. Because it's all about making money. It makes money to do that kind of content. And the hardest part, when you want to be on social media and when you want to be online and you have that people pleasing personality, and I do have that a bit. I used to have it a little bit more. Now it's like I'm working through it. When you have that personality, it's so harder because you're gonna be brought up to so many things that you think that you're gonna say no, but you're gonna say yes because you want to please people. You don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. So you either shut down or you just say yes for the peace of it. Like I said, I'm a bit like that, right? I'm a bit like that. There's a lot of situations where I kind of keep my mouth shut, but there's a lot of situations now where I kind of speak a little bit more. And it's always with the respect needed, right? And I've been into a situation, let's say, when Protestant would come at me and trying to kind of bring that Catholic not being good and Catholic narrative about like us being the worst, not even being Christians. And even with all the sweetness that I can have, I would still draw a line and say no. Let me tell you why. And trying to understand where they are coming from, right? So that is the point where when you're being online, when you're being on social media, it's especially harder for us women because everything is just against you to be the nicest and to say yes to a lot. And because we are from communities, if you kind of get out of that community because of your mindset and your decision and your choice of living lifestyle, you're gonna feel it. People are gonna let you know. Other women, they're gonna let you know. Not necessarily in a nice way at all. But when you see a woman like Lily Phillips, she's gonna be applauded. And then we're gonna blame the guys coming at her because they came at her. She proposed, they came. So who's the person to blame? The guys. as usual. As usual. There's nothing new here. But the same way I would blame the guy saying yes and just, yeah, getting there, you know, the same way I would blame her, right? Because she knows better, she's an adult. And when you try to do that, yes, that's what you get. So if she has her breaking down from sleeping with 100 guys, my question then would be, what's gonna happen with 1,000? That's my question now. How are you gonna feel mentally? Because the more you're saying that nobody would like you and everybody sees you as a piece of meat, you're kind of creating your own narrative, you're creating your own story about it, because every action that you are doing are pushing you to be seen as that person because of you believing in it. So the point is to try to realign yourself and realign yourself into the fruits of the Holy Spirit and being kind, having the charity necessary, but keeping the intention pure and the intention above everything you're gonna do in life. Making money, getting married, having kids, I don't know, buying a house, traveling. All of that has to be below to make it more aligned and to not feel the need to just fill up that void, because we all have it. We all feel it. We all want to fill up the void. And social media is kind of treacherous and really not the best place when you start trying to get to know yourself and you already have that in you of just people pleasing and just please wanting to please everybody. You're getting on social media, everything is gonna be worse. Because the more you're gonna say yes, the more you're gonna want to please people, the more you're gonna get broken. Because you don't even know what you want. You don't even know where you're going. You're just here to say yes. You're just here to say okay. There was another example, that's gonna be the last example, of me having a chat with my friends at one point where we were talking about the right to murder patients if they are not feeling like they want to live anymore, right? They are getting into serious illnesses and they would make the decision of kind of wanting to die, right? And I have a couple of friends, even a couple of Christian friends, saying that, well, it would be okay. It's a case by case. We never know. I mean, it's terrible. You have to understand those people. And I was like, no, no. And it's something that is hard because, again, we're going to play into people feeling so ill and feeling so bad that you are not able to just see somebody that you love and care so much suffer, going through the whole pain. And seriously ill people, for example. And how can you let that happen, letting your person, somebody that you love so much, suffer and not making the decision of ending it at the moment, if possible? And I was like, no, no, no. Why? Because how it's gonna be hard. I'm not saying that you're gonna sit down and sing somebody that you care about suffering and be like, oh, that's fine. Let me get water, right? No. But because again the priority is God, and I was not the one to create that life, to bring life here. I'm not the one to I shouldn't be the one to end it. It's not my decision, it's God's decision. And all I can do and is asking God for the strength, giving me the strength, giving that person the strength of going it through until they're ready to go home with the Lord. But asking God to give you the strength and give you everything that you need to get through it with that person. But getting to make the decision of you ending the life that you didn't create, no, no. And this is a non-negotiable type of thing for me. It's like, nope, right? But that's hard because when you see, again, cases by cases, it becomes hard because the people, and I know people, I have friends that lost their parents due to cancer, right? And Lord only knows how hard it is to see your parents on the bed suffering, and that could take weeks, months, years, right? You see those people losing their life little by little. You are broken inside. It's hard. It's so hard. And that's where the compassion comes in. Because you have that compassion to be with that person, to pray with that person, to ask God, to keep asking God, because you don't have that energy yourself. You don't have that strength. The only strength that's gonna be able to get you through it is that divine strength. There's nothing that you can give if not asking for God to give it, right? It's the same thing. And when we are trying to be pleasing to everybody, we're losing it because it becomes like normal. It becomes okay. It becomes a case by case. It becomes relativism. It's like, hey, it can work here, but it can't work here. But that's fine. There's no truth no more. It's like, well, depends of the person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when you get online, you see Lady Phillips. Yep. And then when we start talking about mental health, we're not even thinking about people like that because it's like they do whatever they want. They're adults. Yep. Mm-hmm. So that was a point for me and something that I wanted to share here. The thought that I had about it, and definitely me not even wanting to share more because I felt like I was not inspired, but then I had a lot of thoughts from watching the documentary. So I hope it resonated with you. Maybe I was a bit harsh. Maybe I felt like I was a bit harsh. Maybe that's a people pleasing person in me. But let me know if that resonated with you, and let me know if you disagree with me or if you agree with me, right? Because we know the story. So whoever you are, whatever you do, let me know whatever you feel was the best course of action, I would say, right? For her doing that and being able to agree to that, or it's her thing, and whatever she does, that's her story. That's it, right? So let me know. Of course, I'm gonna see you probably in 2025 or maybe a little bit before that, but we're gonna have a great Christmas Eve, a great Christmas, and then there's gonna be a couple of things happening for next year, definitely. So again, here I want to share, and just I wanted to thank everybody being here, subscribing, keep subscribing, and whatever you find good here, let me know. Definitely share more. So I'm gonna see you for another video. Until then, like I say all the time, keep smiling because it's free and contagious in a good way. And Merry Christmas to everyone. Enjoy with your family.